How you doing, world? Back here again to decide I get up here and talk about Jacob Blake. This situation, man, these useless killing got to stop. They need to stop. I feel nobody has the right to kill nobody. Yes, and at the same time, I do agree on the other side that this guy, if the police telling you to stop, you should stop and comply. I mean, the worst that can happen, they can take you to jail or whatever. You can fight it. But then on the other side, back on Jacob Blake's side, the police are giving tasers and the rubber bullets and stuff. Man, use that before you just unload 7 shots into the back of somebody. I don't understand it. I'm not coming to just be on one side, but I'm leaning on both of the sides. Now I'm saying that Blake shouldn't have just not complied with the officers. He shouldn't have did it. Should have just complied. I mean, the worst part about it is, man got 3 kids in the vehicle, and the police didn't even care. They just unload 7 shots. Like, 1 bullet is enough to at least, disable the guy so they can take control of him. But I don't understand all these useless killings. I just don't understand it. It seems like everything is a setup to make us go against one another so that stuff can be secretly done. Because divided, as a country divided, we will fall. And if they keep using these racist antics and stuff to take our attention off whatever they're trying to do, then we will fall. We had to come together as a people. Everybody got to love one another. If you do your part, you will be an example for somebody else. Somebody else will do their part. I just don't understand in the world we live in now why there's so much chaos. We're in a time where these people talking about giving us a vaccine for this coronavirus, which is another strand of the flu. That flu have killed more people than the coronavirus. And every time someone die accident and they so quote positive for the coronavirus is given credit that the coronavirus is the killer of that person. And in fact, they got in an accident. And to me, I look at it, coronavirus ain't nothing but another flu. But it's like every time when something else will happen as a distraction to take us away from what is actually going on. Everybody know the George Floyd situation and coronavirus. Like they took the media by storm. And the George Floyd is another situation as well. I'm gonna jump back on that case. What the police did, that was just stupid. That guy should have been given the chair. I think you do something like that for 8 minutes or whatever on somebody's neck. Come on, man. You got that big old, you had a big veins in your neck and you got your freaking airway and you're going to kneel on somebody's neck for 8 minutes. Somebody should have snatched him by his throat and pulled him off. That's when people should really rally up. But I don't want to invoke violence. We just got to do better. We got to do better. I know I can talk to my head turn blue, but it starts with you. If you're an example, somebody else is going to look at it. Or, you can be an example for your kids and other folks to look at you and see that and you see good. You got no business hating on nobody or hating someone because of the skin they're in. We don't make what color we are. We don't make it. I mean, like black people can have a very light skinned baby, and so on and so forth. I mean, like, why does the skin color really matter? Because when you look at it, white people ain't white. The color of snow is white. White people is like more of a beige or something like that. White people ain't white. Black people ain't black. I'm black, but I'm really brown skinned. And same thing with Hispanic, but they're brown. But we look at it at the world we in. We got to do better as a whole. This is a great country that we in. I know the history of our country is very deep, and we got to do better as far as being a brother to each other. I really do think that's our biggest issue, because we live like every city have a upscale side, and then you have the low budget side, and you go through the upscale side where these uppity people at. People want to stare at you all types of ways, especially if you have rims on your vehicle. People just stop and just stare like, this guy don't belong here. We live in an upscale neighborhood now, and people still look at us, don't even wave or nothing. Like, I don't care. I'm just doing the best for my family. Just try to provide them a great living, because I had to pass the baton off to them. So I want to have them at a nice level in life, and they want nice things, and want to go for it. So that's my goal, just to be a good father. And I love the way that they have friends, of different ethnic backgrounds, which is good, because once they start like that as kids, they don't get that corrupt mindset that their parents and grandparents used to have. And I really do think that that plays a major part as far as all this hate. And back to the Jacob Blake, that don't make no sense. How can you shoot somebody in the back 7 times? That's a big issue that we're having in our country. These people just I don't know. I mean, they're human just like I am. They're not above the law. And they'll put on administrative leave. But they should be punished sometime. But it all plays into the point of, like, we do not need to defund the police. Be way more murders and robbers and rapes and everything. But these police that doing this stuff and embarrassing the police department, making the police department being discredited, they should be punished in such a way as to bring shame to that person. Like, I don't know, there's plenty of different punishment that I think people should be given. Nobody should be able to do that and then be scot-free, all of a sudden charges drop. They tell us anything that happened out there. These police be getting off. They let them off, man, after you commit a murder. How? The crazy thing now is that all videos is getting published, and the world is seeing it now. But I can only imagine if this wasn't videotaped, how it would be. I think that's the major issue in this country, is how the police and the oath that they stood. I joined the military and the army, and I had an oath that I had to raise my right hand to. I had to swear on it. And the same thing, I know cops have to do that as well. So my thing is just, I don't hate anyone, but being a cop is a job that I commend them for, and it's very hard to do that job. I mean, for instance, like if you're a cop and you get called out to a residence for domestic violence and you come out there and then you get shot. If someone wanted to set up the police, it's very easy. Unless you live in just a crazy bad part of town. And I think that would be a big issue. If you live in a bad side of town, and the police, if you live in a bad side of town, they won't come. But if you live in like a decent side of town, the police will come out there by itself. Because, the history of the town isn't bad. But he can come out there and get shot and killed. So, I'm trying to talk about this on the perspective of both sides. I mean, Jacob Blake on one side should have complied with what the police were saying. The police on the other side, it's three of them. You have a taser. I don't know, a baton, or even not being, I take away the baton, but they got a taser. Hit him with the taser, then handcuff him or whatever you're going to do. At least the man would have been shot 7 times. Or shot at 7 times. I don't know how many bullets actually hit him. And then the thing about it, what people don't care about it, or the cops, they terrifying these kids. Now I commend them cops that get out there, man. They play ball with the community. You have to integrate yourself into the community. 3 police is on one guy. I can see this guy was a huge man like Shaq, and then they're scared to grab him. But I just don't. I don't understand it. But as a country, as a great people we are, we have to do better. We really do. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand how it can be so negative. You look at all the other countries and stuff; they've been having these militias going against the government and all this other negative stuff. But I never thought that it'd be here. But once George Floyd happened, it was just too much. I mean, a lot of blacks have been marching for years, but now these people, everybody know they passed. People ain't marching no more. I just, all I can say for you and me, I try to do my best, be a good member of society. But I know this can happen to me as well. I can be just driving down the road and get pulled over for no reason and have a gun drawn on me and possibly kill. But cops can't do that. And that's why whenever I get stopped, I comply. And people have been complying also and still get shot. The Breonna Taylor woman, I don't get that. I don't understand it. How can you do that to somebody? Call yourself a man or a woman? You're supposed to give out, be the equal in the situation, but you coming at being the aggressor, and you can't do that. That's what's wrong with our society. As a whole, we have to do better. This racist mess, man, got to get rid of it. Because it's going to continue to hold us down as a people. I mean, one thing, they allow the KKK to still be able to march and all this stupid mess. That's wrong. KKK is the biggest terrorist group out there. I know they didn't put the sheets down, but there should never be a rally in a KKK rally. Or there should never be nothing dealing with them because of the history they have with killing Americans. But I know with our older laws, they did not recognize black people as being Americans, but as second-class citizens. So these people could kill them and get away with it. But not now. There's a different story. These people have a history of what they did to black people. They shouldn't be allowed to congregate, rally, or nothing. Just based off the history of the group. I mean, and I've had debated with a bunch of people that I work with and so on and so forth. And, and I was saying, like even with the Black Panther, Black Panther, the gangs and stuff like that was developed to protect these black kids going back and forth, to protect their community, and which they needed because they was being hung and shot and killed and raped in their community. So the Black Panther stood up, the Bloods and Crips stood up, just so people can try to live without being beaten and raped. Who in the world want to do that? I know our country is very I won't say all the way divided, because there's a lot of people that it's not racist, just that few, maybe a couple percent, 5-10%, or maybe 1 or 2% that goes around here and do stupid stuff. But I commend you for being who you are. And I hope and pray that our country get better. Because one day we're going to leave this world. And we're going to go see the Lord. The judgment they do come is coming. Coming for me. And I just hope and pray I've done enough to make it to heaven. And it's coming for you. You're sitting around here your whole life hating someone because of their skin color. And then you get in an accident, and then that's the person that's taking care of you. That makes you look pretty stupid to me. Or your child come out here, you hate, if I hate white people so bad, my kid get married to a white person. I got mixed white kids, grandkids. It's just something we got to look at it and be bigger than. Let's take this country to another level, just being who we are. But it's this racist stuff, we got to let it go. All right, thank you. Be blessed. Please like and subscribe my channel. I just talked about little stuff. Maybe you can comment or something. I appreciate you. God bless you.